Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today we're going to have a little bit of a chit chat. We're going to have a little discussion about a book buying restriction or a ban and how to survive it. Many of you know that I am on a one-track mind, very small goals for the year of losing weight and getting out of debt. And because I am very laser focused on getting out of debt, my book buying has drastically dropped this year. I didn't put myself on a strict no complete and total ban, but I am very focused on not just spending willy-nilly on books. And it has been going pretty well. Thankfully, I have many of you that are so kind and have sent me books this year. I have also shopped little free libraries and done other things, but I have 6 tips for you today that will help if you also are on a book buying restriction or want to reduce the amount of books that you are buying. Maybe one of these things that I'm going to talk about today will help. So the first tip that I have for you today is to replace the buying habit. If you are one of those people who, like me, just instantly put things into your cart and purchase them, or enjoy shopping on Pango and using those Pango bucks to bring books home, or just can't resist a good old library sale, let's think about this in a different way. How can we replace that buying habit? And one of the things I like to do is rearrange my books here at home, go through, maybe unhaul a little bit, pull out books that match the season, use books as decoration, anything that allows you to look at your books in a different way. Maybe also this means going to the library and shopping the shelves. I am somebody who often just puts books on hold, goes to pick them up, but I don't spend time shopping the shelves. So maybe shopping the shelves at the library where everything is free and there's no consequence of bringing a ton of books home, maybe that will replace that buying habit. Instead of going into a bookstore, you're going into the library. And also maybe just start a wish list. I use the want to read shelf on Goodreads as sort of a wish list. I also have an Amazon wish list. Books that people talk about that I think sound interesting, I will add them to my want to read list on Goodreads to look at later, to do a little bit of a deeper dive to see if I actually want it. Books that I know that I actually want, I put on my Amazon wish list just to remind myself at a later time that that's something I might want to purchase, or sometimes that's what you guys gift to me. I have in my library room here this rotating bookshelf. I will rotate you around so you can see it. I have this rotating bookshelf that holds my TBR each month, but I also pull out books that just sound good to me in the moment and put them on here. And it's kind of a way to look at the books on my shelves in a different way. So the goal here with this first tip is to not remove the fun, but just look at it, redirect it into a different format. I kind of overlap that first tip with this second one, which is make your books feel new again. So I already mentioned pulling out books to use as decoration, or pulling out books to add to a TBR cart or a stack or a pile somewhere of books that you really want to read. Maybe this means going through your bookshelves and reorganizing a little bit. Sort your books in a different way. Display some of your books face out like in a bookstore. Just anything that will help your books to feel like new again. Another way that you could do this is to create a themed TBR. For prompts for a readathon or for the season, just pulling out books that fit into a certain prompt or idea. Maybe things like books that I forgot that I owned, or backlist gems, or quick reads. Pulling out books and just highlighting them in a different way on your shelves could make your books feel new again. Also, I am not somebody who loves to annotate, but annotating your books or tabbing amazing quotes in a story that you're reading might be another fun way to make your books feel like they're new and special. The third tip that I have is really the make it or break it tip that I have for you, and it's control the temptation. I know if you're like me, we are consuming a lot of book content, both by watching YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts, and other ways that we are consuming bookish content. And instead of adding every single book that you hear that sounds good to your wish list, be a little bit more selective with the books that you're adding to your wish list. Be a little more intentional also with the content that you're consuming. Are you listening to just anybody and everybody? Which is fine and fun, and I'm fully in support of watching all the channels. But don't add every recommendation that you hear or see to your cart. Maybe start a list, a post-ban buy list, or a page in your journal. I have a page in my journal for my wish list books that when I hear something that I really want, I can add it to that wish list and kind of build up that anticipation for getting that book. And who knows, in a month from now, maybe I don't really want that book as badly as I thought I did in the moment. So you're just working on controlling our temptations in this phase of things. Also, try not to browse or scroll or shop when you're feeling bored. Replace that maybe with organizing your books or actually reading the books that we own. This is, like I said, controlling the temptation is probably the hardest of all of these tips, but it will have the most impact. The fourth tip that I have is to add some structure to this. I'm somebody who loves a spreadsheet or a challenge for myself, and I've seen all kinds of different challenges that have been floating around booktube over the years. Maybe it's something like, I'm not going to buy a book until I read 10 books, or for every book that I read, I can put $1 into a jar or something. Add some structure to it so that you're not just buying freely, but you're adding a little bit of challenge along the way. Make a checklist or an app or a journal. Somehow track your progress visually so that you can get that dopamine of buying the books instead of from the actual purchasing, but from this list or this visual representation of your book buying ban. And maybe that will help increase your motivation as well. Potentially allow yourself some optional exceptions as well. If you've already pre-ordered a few things here and there, or if you have gifts for other people, or if you've given yourself a strict limit, allow a little bit of exception in there if needed. Maybe you need to not give yourself exceptions, maybe because you're giving yourself too many exceptions, but add some structure to it is just another way to help stick to a book buying restriction or ban. The fifth one is probably the most fun. It's replacing the dopamine. So we all know we get excited about buying books, right? Like going to a bookstore and getting a new book. There's just something fun about it that gets that dopamine flowing in our veins, and we just love it. So maybe organize a book swap or attend a book swap. So you're still getting a new book, but you're not spending any money on it. Or shop little free libraries and get the excitement from getting your books free from that experience. Maybe it's attending an author talk or an event at your library. That would be something fun. Maybe it's starting a reading journal if you've never done one before, or working on your reading journal. Maybe it's writing more in-depth reviews. Somehow replace the excitement around buying books with other things related to books. And honestly, maybe try unhauling. I am somebody who, when I get in the mood to unhaul, I go for it and I don't think too hard about it. Thankfully, I have a lot of books to choose from, but I am somebody who can just do an unhaul, and I'm telling you, it gets just as exciting to unhaul sometimes as it is to bring new ones in. So you're replacing the dopamine with one of those ideas. And finally, the sixth one is just a shift in our mindset, right? This is not deprivation, it's rediscovery. I just said I have hundreds of books on my shelves that are waiting for me to read them. So instead of looking for that excitement in a new book coming in, let's look at my shelves and rediscover what I already own. I already own a ton of really amazing books that are just waiting for me to get to them. And also, books will still be there. Books aren't going anywhere. I know we're getting more and more digital in our world, but books aren't going anywhere. And if you don't get that book that you think you need right now, maybe now's not the time for you to read it, but it's not going anywhere. It'll be around. It might not be available at the library for a couple of weeks, but we can wait. We can do hard things. Focus on the joy of reading and not just collecting. I know that those are two separate hobbies, ultimately, right? Readers love to read, but not all readers are also book collectors. I am a book collector, and many of you out there are, and we love having those books in our homes. But let's focus a little bit more on the reading side of things for a little while we are working on this book restriction, this book ban. Focus on the reading, focus on the books that we already have. And I challenge you, I know that you can do it. Breaking it down, if you do nothing else of all the ideas that I've mentioned today, if you shop your shelves, use your library, and track your progress, I feel like those three things will be the best help for you to survive to survive your book buying restriction or your book buying ban. I would love to hear if you are on a book buying ban or restriction. What are your rules for your ban? What are your rules for your restriction? Let's chat about that down below. Or if you already know I'm on a ban and this is the book that I'm gonna get as soon as I start spending money on books, let me know that as well. I have still been doing book hauls, so you know books are still coming into my home, but I am spending very, very little comparatively to the past few years. I'm spending very little on books, which really makes me happy. So I just want to encourage you that you can do it. Let me know down below also which of these ideas or rules resonates the most with you. Let's chat about all things book buying ban or book buying restriction down below. And if you've made it to the end but you're not feeling chatty, put a little, is there an X or like the circle with a slash through it? Like the don't do it, no crossing sign. Put that emoji down in the comments just to let me know that you were here. I really appreciate you for spending a few minutes of your day with me, and I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Bye.